Alright, before we dive in, let me just say this up front. I'm not claiming this theory is 100% true or anything like that. It's more of just a fun observation that I made while I was rewatching the show. A bunch of little details I noticed that kind of connect if you squint at them the right way. And honestly, since nobody's really dropping any Clarence theories lately, I figured why not. Just a quick heads up though, this theory does get into some dark territory. Stuff like death, gore, and decomposition. Pretty gross, but hey, that's kind of the point of it. So here's the basic idea. At some point, Jeff comes across a dead body hidden in a bush. Now, instead of reporting it, he leaves it there, probably because he doesn't want to get involved. Later, he regrets not saying anything, and the show is packed with little hints and symbols that seem back to that moment. That's what I want to talk about today. Now, I'll be real with you. I haven't watched every episode of Clarence. It's been years since I used to watch it, so I'm just going to cover the episodes that I do remember and the ones I watched recently that stand out with this imagery. If I've missed anything, make sure to drop it in the comments. The first episode I want to look at is Jeff Wins. This is actually where the whole theory started to click for me. In the episode Jeff Wins, Jeff's in this baking competition, and he's freaking out because he hates losing. At first, I didn't think much of it theory-wise, but then Clarence sings this song, and the lyrics hit like a ton of bricks.
Sometimes my life can be a bit on edge when things don't go my way.
Where's that music coming from?
And all I want to do is hide behind life's hedge, or lie down to decay.
That last line stuck with me. Hide behind life's hedge, or lay down to decay. And do you want to know the craziest part? There's little to no context to it at all. I mean, the whole song is about how Jeff is stuck up.
At least I'm not as uptight as you, Jeff. At least I'm not uptight.
And the episode is about him being nervous for a baking competition. So why did he feel the need to say that line? Weird, right? And the way it plays out like a musical, and Sumo, who wasn't there to begin with, randomly turning up to play piano, it's almost as if it's inside his head, a guilty conscience maybe. Like, Jeff, are you good? Next up is the episode Worm Bin. So in this one, Jeff is absolutely terrified of worms. Like, we're talking phobia level scared. He won't eat, he won't sleep, and he's basically losing his mind, trying to get rid of them. And honestly, can we talk about the mum for a second? She just lets the worms hang around. Meanwhile, her kid is starving and panicking 24/7. Not exactly mum of the year. Anyway, there's this scene where Jeff finally manages to get rid of the worms. He lies down in the grass, all relieved, like he's finally free. But then nightmare fuel kicks in. Suddenly, the worms start to crawl up out the dirt, swarming him, almost like they're consuming him. It's pretty gross, but it's also really symbolic. Worms eating away at the body, decomposition imagery. Jeff totally loses it, stomping, screaming, trying to fight them off. Clarence steps in and tells him the worms won't actually hurt him, and eventually Jeff calms down, almost like he's forced to accept them. Now let's move on to what I think is the most important episode for this whole theory, the Tuckered Boys. The three boys basically go on what looks like a full acid trip. And let's be real, sleep deprivation alone doesn't cause hallucinations that vivid.
Hey Jeff, are you spying on somebody or what?
No, the Leonid meteor shower is tonight. Or rather tomorrow morning at 4 a.m.
Up all night, up all night, up all night.
They head out to find a better spot to watch the meteor shower, and along the way, they stop at a gas station, and that's when things get really weird. Jeff sees this man at the pump, just staring at him with an intense, judgmental look. It's super unsettling, and the way Jeff reacts to it, it really feels like there's something deeper bubbling under the surface. The guy at the pump is staring him down. He's got that I know what you did look. The guy doesn't blink, he doesn't look away, just keeps holding eye contact until Jeff finally panics and ducks into the bathroom. And this is where things get really strange. Inside, Jeff sees a guy lying on the floor, completely motionless, like a full-on corpse. But then the body actually speaks. It asks Jeff for help. And what does Jeff do? He freaks out, spins around, bolts for the door, and manages to smack his head on a pole, knocking himself out cold. Nice one, Jeff. Not exactly the most compassionate response, but I don't exactly blame him either. Now, this is where the acid trip theory starts to get real. Jeff had literally just slept, so how is he hallucinating this hard? Unless that head injury scrambled his brain, it doesn't add up. It's kinda ironic too. Jeff is usually the cautious, grounded one, but here he's the one losing his grip the hardest. So what's really going on? I think this episode is showing each of the three boys' fears bubbling to the surface. through their hallucinations. Clarence is facing this weird existential dread, you know, the big what's the point of life kind of stuff. Sumo is battling with violent impulses and how he deals with anger. And Jeff, well, this is where things start to get interesting. When he wakes up from his little blackout, he's confused, disoriented, and yeah, he's peed himself. Happens to the best of us. The boys eventually split up, but then Jeff spots Copernicus. Copernicus? I'm not too sure, to be honest. But he's standing behind a bush. And here's the wild part. This bush looks exactly like the one from that scene. Same little gap in the middle, same shadowy vibe. It feels like a direct callback. To me, that bush represents Jeff's guilt. In his mind, he's linking Copernicus to that hidden body, almost like his subconscious is dragging the memory back into focus. It's his way of processing, and maybe trying to forgive himself for not reporting what he found. Copernicus shushes him, almost like he's guarding a secret. Then he tells Jeff to follow. The three boys head off into this surreal adventure, and Copernicus even praises Jeff for doing everything right so far. Then he offers Jeff a chance to find what's missing, which, if you connect the dots, could be a metaphor for the still missing body. It's like a challenge. Face your secret and you might set things right. But before Jeff can follow through, Clarence barges into the vision. Jeff immediately looks guilty, like he's been caught in the act, and he lashes out, blaming Clarence for interrupting and breaking his focus. Later, Jeff does find Copernicus again, but this is where it gets really unsettling. Copernicus starts shedding hair, just handing Jeff a clump of it, like he's decaying in front of him, almost like he's becoming a corpse. And right when Jeff reaches out to take it, Clarence interrupts again. Copernicus looks disappointed, sinks back into the dirt, and Jeff desperately starts digging, trying to pull him back. Here's something that really stood out to me. Jeff is not the type of kid who's willing to dig around in dirt. He's a total clean freak. But of course, where a body's usually hidden? Under dirt. The irony writes itself. By the end of the episode, the boys basically call it quits, sit down, and watch the meteor shower. It feels like their way of processing everything they just went through, almost like closure. Now let's just talk about Copernicus for a second. I know it might just be the lighting, but he honestly looks blue, corpse-like. The colours in that scene make him look really different compared to when he's holding the book or the magazine. Even his hair looks off. It's not just a trick of the shadows. Alright, so let's circle back to the episode that started this whole theory. So the power goes out because Jeff gets his kite stuck on a line. Clarence disappears after heading out to grab Jeff a raisin drink. Clarence gets lost, and Jeff immediately blames himself for sending him. While Jeff hides out at Chad and Mary's place, he tells them a story that I'm gonna call total BS on. Well, maybe not total BS, but he definitely leaves out some important details. He says he was walking to school, which makes no sense, since we've seen him take the bus plenty of times. And in the episode Average Jeff, he says he likes to do things in a certain order.
I stay on routine, on schedule. I'm not like everyone else. I'm particular. I'm special.
So it's very unlike Jeff to not take the bus that day. His sandal came unbuckled. When he bent down to fix it, he saw a trail of red liquid leading out from the bush. Now here's the shady part. In his narration, Jeff plays it cool, saying he's glad he didn't get involved or step in. But in the actual flashback, his face shows real fear. That mismatch feels way too deliberate. And if you look closely, there are flies buzzing around the bush. Now come on, that is a dead giveaway. Even Chad asks if it's guts or something.
No.
Jeffrey, what was the liquid? Was it from, like, guts?
And Jeff just shrugs it off like it's nothing. After that, Jeff basically shuts down, totally out of character. Later, when they start looking for Clarence, Jeff casually mentions that the news makes him anxious.
I can't listen to the news. It gives me anxiety. Could you turn it off? Turn it off. Could you turn it off?
I can't hear it.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Quiet!
Which, if you connect the dots, does make perfect sense. He's terrified that some headline about a body being found will pop up, and his guilt will come crashing back. And one last little note, in the Flood Brothers episode, Percy finds a blue, rotten hand. I don't know if that ties in directly, but I guess it is worth mentioning. So here's my conclusion. I think finding a body would mess Jeff up for life. He's a rule follower, a kid who always tries to do the right thing. So stumbling on something like that would terrify him. I mean, it would terrify anybody, but not just because of the body, but because he's scared he might be blamed. Instead of reporting it, he just buries the secret and lets it get deeper. And maybe Copernicus is how his mind copes with it. It's easier to picture a weird, surreal character than the reality of a decaying corpse. Anyway, yeah, that's a theory, I guess. Let me know what you think. Could this be true? If you made it this far, thank you for sticking by. And if you liked it, let me know. I might even do more. But that's all from me, and I'll see you next time.